It's Saturday, February 24th, and it is time for My 10's, which is the show I do on every Saturday. My 10's. That's right, my top 10's. I just had to turn the volume on my phone just in case somebody sends a text or calls. Don't want to hear it. But my phone has to be close by, like all Americans. Our phones have to be close by now. Not like the old days. Someday I'll do a topic on that. Might be nostalgia tripping if I can find an old phone. But, so, what is the topic? The topic is going to be the top 10 reasons the XFL can succeed. Now, I know a lot of people look at the XFL as a joke. I know a lot of people look at the XFL as a complete disaster and a mess. But the thing is, if you watch the ESPN 30 for 30 that they do about the XFL, there was some legitimately good ideas. The Skycam actually came from the XFL. Having cameramen down on the field closer to the action, not on the field necessarily, not on the actual field with the players, but down, on the sidelines and things like that, came from the XFL. A lot more of the access that we have to the NFL players was started in things like the XFL. And the reason the Skycam came about is because there was some guy who said, all these kids are playing Madden, and this is the view they play from, top down, looking at the field, kind of at this angle. And they came up with it, and now the Skycam is used. The Skycam is used in auto racing. There are gigantic racetracks that have a Skycam that floats around. So it's a weird thing that it came from, like, the XFL. So I'm going to do top 10 things that the XFL can succeed. And this is a few things. They need to do some things different than the NFL to kind of set themselves apart. So I have a few proposed rule changes or implementations that we could maybe do to make the game a little bit different than the NFL, but it still needs to be football. Still needs to be football. So, number 10, social media friendly. To get the younger generation going. The younger generation doesn't really watch as much football now. It's proven that the younger generation is looking more towards soccer and lacrosse and even basketball. It's the sports that their parents are letting them play, so it's the sports that they're getting into. And they should, if that's what they enjoy. So soccer is coming along in this country, and so is lacrosse, and the younger generation is bringing their love of those sports with them. They're not necessarily loving the NFL. So make the XFL more media friendly, more social media friendly. Access to more players, give them their own YouTube channels, let them tweet from the field. The NFL would never let you do that, but let them tweet towards the field. Let these guys, initially XFL wanted to let these guys be individuals. Don't lose that. Let them be individuals. Let them shine. Let them promote themselves. The XFL or the NFL wants, it to be about the shield. The XFL should be about the players. And I think that they will do that again. Number 9, get YouTubers on board. Get YouTubers on board because it's kind of a free way of advertising. If you can find some of the bigger sports YouTubers, give them access to maybe some of the highlights from your channel and ask them if they will cover your sport so that you can at least get, because once again, the younger generation loves YouTube. They watch it all the time. YouTube is starting to take the place of cable. It did for me. I got rid of my cable and I just watch YouTube because there's so many great shows that I love to watch and so many YouTubers that I watch. I think the younger generation kind of feels the same way. They find a lot of their celebrities are from YouTube. So, billions of people that watch YouTube, it's not a bad place to promote it. So get YouTubers on board to have them kind of help you promote it. It's a little bit of grassroots promotion, but if you can get some of the bigger sports YouTubers to kind of look at the XFL and help you hype it. Don't force them to love your sport. Just ask them if they will cover it. Even if it's negative publicity, maybe somebody will like it and cover it positively. And hopefully with a lot of these things that I propose and maybe whatever, because I'm guaranteeing you Vince McMahon has a lot smarter people than me in charge of this. So I'm hoping that they have some real good ideas themselves. Number 8, no kickers. Get rid of the kickers. Get rid of them completely. No kickers, no punters, nothing. No field goals, no extra points. Everything is a 2-point conversion, and you just can't punt. You know what? We all play Madden. When we play Madden, do we punt? No, we don't. We don't punt. Even when it's 4th and 26 and we're on our own goal line, we still think we can make it. And we'll give up the touchdown the other way if we have to, but we're going to go for 4th and 26. So no punters. Just get rid of them. Or no punters, no kickers, period. No field goals, no extra points. Not even kickoffs. If you have to come up with some other way, I don't know a way to come up with it. I don't think that scramble for the ball they used to do, where 2 guys stood at the 35 and ran to the 50, that wasn't a good idea because people got hurt. But come up with some other way that maybe you could, decide who gets the ball first. Or who gets to choose. Which brings me to, if you're not going to have kickers and punters, what do? 1/5 down per half, and you get to use it whenever you want to. So you get 1/5 down. So if you don't have kickers and you don't have punters, and you're stuck on your side of the field, and you're in a 2-minute drill, and maybe you don't even have a 2-minute warning, but it's the last 2 minutes of the half, then you sit there and you go, hey, let's use our 5th down now. We're at the end of the first half. Let's use our 5th down and let's see if we can't make this thing. So then even if it's 4th and 12, the commentators can go, well, they only have to get half of it back, maybe, get them a little closer, because then they can go to 5th and 6. So it's like it's 5th down and 10 yards to go. Legitimately, that could be something. Not like the Missouri-Colorado game where the referees gave the CU Buffs a 5th down but to score the touchdown. But this would be a legitimate 5th down. Why not? Number 6, 1 less player on the field. Now this is more for how much you're going to have to pay all the players anyway. So if you only have to have 1 less player on the field, they're only going to have 40-man rosters. That doesn't leave you, football's a violent sport. A lot of people are going to get hurt during the year. Even in football where they're not as good as the NFL guys, they still are going to hit hard. So they're going to get hurt. So why not have only 1 less player on the field? That way your backups go further. Now you have 20 backups instead of only 18 backups. 2 more backups, you think about it, you got 2 more backups and you don't have to carry kickers. You're going to do a little bit better. And one of those should be almost like a hybrid back. This is where you can utilize some of those quarterbacks that were in college that could run and throw. They aren't necessarily NFL guys, but they are an option here to run and throw the ball. So 1 less player on the field could provide, 1 less player on the field can open up the field a little bit, make it a little bit more open. Plus, you don't really need running backs because you want to open up this football. And I think I'm going to get to that a little bit later. But now you have a player that's a little bit more diverse, and it's called a hybrid back. And hybrids nowadays, that's a common word because we have a lot of cars that are hybrids. So it's a common word even to the younger generation, and they can understand hybrid back. So then that moves us on to number 5. Number 5, a catch is a catch. They even did a little cartoon on this. The cartoon is kind of cute. But it's like, a catch is a catch. None of this, the ball was slightly moving just a little bit, and then the bottom of the ball was right here, and it touched the ground, and so it's incomplete. And it's like, well, most guys, the football is big. It's about that big. It's going to sit underneath your arm. So even if you have it like this, but the ball touches the ground, you still have the ball. But in the NFL, it's not a catch. But a catch is a catch. If you can watch it on TV and sit there and go, yeah, he caught that. If your first reaction is, he got it, that's a catch, then it's a catch. Number 4, open up the football. Don't make it a slow-paced game. Make it a throwing game. People want a fast-paced, more fun game. You have the field now with 1 less player. It is opened up. You have a hybrid back who can throw the ball and kind of catch you off guard. So you have your quarterback, and then you have a hybrid guy that might be able to do the same thing. He can run, he can catch, and he can throw. So that would be pretty awesome. It opens up your strategies, it opens up the field, and it keeps the defense a little bit more honest. None of this, I know that Vince said earlier he wanted smash mouth football. No. Smash mouth football is slow and it's a grind. The younger generation wants scoring. Even the older generation, look at the points when they go up. People are excited to see the points go up. So open up the football. Which leads me to my next thing, because you're going to sit there and go, well, if they play 60 minutes, they're going to score 75 points. No. Because we want this to go fast. So the next thing you do, shorten the time. That's going to be number 3. Number 3, shorten the time. No 60-minute football games. 2 20-minute halves or 4 10-minute quarters. Less chance for injury. Your opened up football now doesn't score 60 points each half. So you have a shorter time, opened up with the football. The football's opened up. More scoring, but in a less amount of time. So your scores still probably stay in the NFL range of, 35 to 28, and they don't look outrageous and they don't look ridiculous and they don't look, and you don't want your scores to be like Madden scores. So, and with a short, I think I said this, but less chance of injury because you're not playing as long. Your players aren't getting as fatigued. So they can give more energy, more effort, more of the time, because when they get to the fourth quarter and they're used to playing 20 more minutes, well, this is basically like them being almost in the middle of the third quarter, middle to the end of the third quarter. So they still got a lot of energy. So it can make for better football in the springtime when the temperatures are going to start to heat up, because this will probably be a spring league. So the temperatures will start to heat up towards the end of the season. And you don't want those guys running around in that kind of heat all the time. It's tough with all that padding and everything. Number 2 reason why the XFL can succeed, Vince has his own network. That's right. He has the WWE network. He already has a place he can put his football. So he may create another network. I don't know. I don't know all the intricacies of this. But if he can put it on the XFL to start, or he can put it on the WWE network, and then maybe he can convince another network somewhere down the road, well, he might be able to, with his own network, and maybe another cable network takes on some of the other games. It's like he can have his own, he can control what happens with it, and he has a guaranteed network where his games can be watched. So he has his own network. He doesn't have to make a deal with anybody else. Everything goes to him. So anybody who watches the XFL has to subscribe to the WWE network, which is like $10 a month. But if you're a WWE fan, you're already going to have access to this. But you're still going to need to put it on some cable channel. You need to put it somewhere where the average American can see it. And why not YouTube? Why not put it on YouTube? And then you'll have a little bit of an audience there as well. Because the one thing with the shorter run time that was at number 3, you don't want a lot of commercials, because a lot of commercials means you lengthen out the run time. Fewer commercials means a quicker game, which means we're in and out faster. And the number 1 reason, Vince has been there and done that. He's already made his mistakes. He knows what he did wrong, and he knows how to change those things. And if he can change what he did wrong and make it right, because the football got better towards the end of the year. He's now giving 2 years to develop this football league. So he's already learned that lesson. Last time he barely gave it a year. He only gave the players 1 month to be together, or 2 weeks. 2 weeks to a month, somewhere in there, to get everybody on board. Well, you can't put together cohesive teams in that quick amount of time. So there you go. Those are my 10 reasons the XFL can succeed. And I'm rooting for the XFL because I just love football and I'd like to see more football. And the XFL wasn't bad football. It was, you got to get rid of all the WWE stuff. And he's probably already said they're not going to do that again. So number 10, social media friendly. Number 9, YouTubers on board. Number 8, no kickers. Number 7, 1/5 down. Number 6, 1 less player on the field. Number 5, a catch is a catch. Number 4, open up the football. Number 3, shorter time. And number 2, Vince has his own network. Number 1, been there, done that. with all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.